Hi, today we'll be discussing about DevOps concept. So we can also achieve this DevOps concept using Spring Boot framework. DevOps is, it's a practice where the team will use some methods to deploy the developed application. Uh, developed application in a faster way. So as soon as the application is developed and it is checked into the repository, automatically the code base will be pulled and it will be built using build tools, and then it will be deployed in a respective server. So for that we need to create a DevOps pipeline system which will handle all these process automatically. You generally see here for the development, if you can see here, we will always plan, create, verify and package, right? And then release, we will release, and release means we will deploy it, and then we will configure if any configuration is required. After that we will monitor it, so it will come under operations part. So DevOps generally is a methodology or a practice where we enable the automatic deployment of the application as soon as the build is completed, right? So let me give a DevOps related process and tools. You see here, generally DevOps lifecycle involves as soon as the code is checked into the Git repository, any version control. Okay, we need to build that code automatically using Maven, Gradle or Jenkins, whatever the tool it is. And after building it, we need to deploy it. So first you take the phase plan, agile methodology, task tracking. So that is the planning is the first stage. The next stage is code and development. So development team will code it and develop the code, and they will check in the code in version control system, like a Git repository, GitHub, Bitbucket, whatever the version control the team use. So they will check in the code. After that we will build the code, right? For that we need a build tools. Some people they use Maven, some use Gradle, some use Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool. It's a CI/CD tool in a market, a very good tool. Inbuilt it will have multiple built-in tools, so we can configure the Jenkins pipeline, a job. It will automatically build it. Right? After building it, we need to verify. We need to run the test cases. We can also run the test cases against the artifact that was built, right? After that we need to deploy or we have to release it. Release means once the code is built by using build tools, and then we have to deploy that in a server to make it run. So that is called release or deploy. So after CI/CD is a continuous integration, continuous deployment. I'll explain what is continuous integration and continuous deployment later. So basically so operate and manage. Once you deploy it, you need to operate the code and manage it, right? And after that you have to monitor the real-time insights and performance tracking using many tracing tools, visualization tools, monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana, Datadog. So many tools are there. So security is also one of the thing. When you are downloading the code from repository, and from there you will scan that code to find out any vulnerabilities, any issues are there. So we will check that, and after that we will verify the we will build the code, we will build the image, and we will also scan the image artifact to make sure that that is a proper image before deploying that in a server. So establishing some security uh, practices or integrating the security uh, softwares that will verify or scan, that will do some static code analysis. So it's a part of our security. Basically, we require whenever we want to deploy something on a server. We call this practice or method is DevSecOps, Dev Security Ops. DevOps is the methodology of deploying an application or a process of deploying an application into server. Here, DevSecOps is a security, how we integrate the uh, security concerns and security practices in DevOps pipeline, DevOps process. Okay, CI/CD. Let me explain you what is CI/CD. CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration and continuous deployment. CI/CD pipeline. Okay, see, continuous integration, continuous deployment. What is continuous integration? Nowadays, everybody, so most of the teams, they are using agile methodology because the requirements are coming very frequently. IT is in faster phase development. So as soon as the developers push the code to central repository, right, it will be automatically triggered the pipeline. So basically the continuous integration is the dev team continuously develop the code and they'll integrate the code to the central repository, right? They'll integrate the code. So that is called continuous integration. Basically we call it as a continuous integration. Continuous deployment is once the code is pushed into the repository, from there we need to download and pull the code, and we have to build the code, and we have to run the test cases against that build, and we have to deploy that code, right? This process is a continuous deployment. So these two things will happen parallelly, continuously, right? So that's why we call it as a CI/CD. In short form we call it as a CI/CD, and the process of pipeline we establish is generally called as a CI/CD pipeline. So you can see here source code will be committed by the developers for in the first stage. After that build will happen. So as soon as the source code is committed or pushed to the central repository or Git repository, it will trigger the pipeline. It will trigger the pipeline, and the pipelines are generally they will compile the code. They will make it as a executable jar file or war file or a container image, depends on the artifact that we want to deploy. After that we can run automated test cases as part of the deployment itself, deployment job, and after the deploy stage we need to deploy it either staging or production. Staging is the testing environment, production is for production, real-time production environment. So continuous deployment, they often use strategies like canary or blue-green approach to deploy it. Canary means gradually, let's say there are 10 servers and I want to deploy my new version of application into other servers. So I don't deploy my application at a time in all servers, because if something goes wrong that may result outage and SLA breach and the problem. So that's why we need to deploy it gradually. First we will deploy it to 2 servers. After that we can increase it to 4 servers, or 8 servers. That way we can make it a 10 servers at a time. So that is a canary deployment. A blue green deployment is first we will keep the existing application running, and we will deploy the new application to different servers, and we will redirect some traffic to new deployed application. And if it is successfully running, then we will completely disable the existing server, and we will make that as a green running application. We will make it as a green application. So just a switching between the traffic. We will switch the traffic when we are trying to deploy it. That way we will not have any downtime, right? We can avoid the downtime of applications. So we can make sure that always the application runs on servers without any downtime or outage issue. So it is called blue-green deployment approach. So these approaches are generally we follow in the CI/CD methodology. What are the benefits of CI/CD? You see, the faster development. Nowadays, when you are building application, we should make sure the deployment also happen in a faster way without any issues, right? So automating the steps speed up releases, improved quality. You see, we need to have a improved quality, early detection of bugs, automated testing. We can actually check all these things. Increase the reliability, consistent automated process, reduce the human error. If human wants to do the deployment, it may result in many errors, right? It is complicated. It is very time intensive, effort intensive work. So to avoid that, we need to automate the CI/CD pipeline using the many tools. So collaboration, there will be better collaboration between dev team and deployment team with this process. So there are many common tools used for CI/CD DevOps deployment. One thing is Jenkins, GitLab CI, GitHub Actions, Circle CI, Argo CD. So all these tools are used to implement CI/CD pipelines here. So in IT industry, the deployment, release management or deployment, both are same. Earlier, people used to call the deployment process as a release management. There will be separate team for documenting the release management related artifacts. They will take care of the process of deploying the artifacts or these developed builds into the servers. It is a process. They will have a separate team in earlier days, but nowadays the name was actually changed to DevOps, development operations. So release management is nothing but development operation. Both are same. You don't need to get confused. So when there are multiple teams are there, they are building multiple applications. Complex applications are getting built every day. Then there should be a separate team to deploy the applications. Imagine if 1,000 teams are developing 1,000 applications every day, and they make changes. In a day they make two or three, 4 changes. What happens then? Deploying those applications, it is a kind of tedious job, complex job. If it is manually done by humans, it may result a human error. Sometimes leads to confusion and sometimes leads to the failure. It also takes a lot of time. So to avoid all those issues, we need a DevOps methodology practice to deploy the application faster for faster delivery purpose. It is important. So we can actually build the pipeline jobs using any programming language. You can build using shell script. You can build using Python. You can build using any programming, Java or any other programming language. Or you can use existing tools like Jenkins, GitLab. Some of the companies, they use programming languages. They completely write a complete automated job for building a CI/CD pipeline, right? Some people, they use Jenkins tools or GitLab CI, GitHub Actions, Circle, Argo. so many options are there. I don't want to get into deeper into that, but since I'm a Java developer, I have I worked on as a Java developer. I want to show you using a Spring Boot with CI/CD. You see, continuous integration and automation. Uh, you see, Spring Boot application deployment, Kubernetes, building CI/CD pipeline, Spring Boot application. Um, okay, we have to search like this. How to build CI/CD pipeline using Spring Boot. We need this, right? We want to build CI/CD job. So building a CI/CD pipeline for a Spring Boot application involves automating the steps from code commit to deployment. So here is the general outline using common setup. You can see here okay, so deployment also we are not applying CI/CD with Spring Boot. Okay, let's say this example here. Okay, first creating an application manually, we need these dependencies. See, Spring Boot starters, right? We need these dependencies, and after that we just create a Spring Boot application. CI/CD process, building a service, dockerizing it, Docker image. Okay, this is just let's create an account, try signing in Maven wrapper, build automation. Okay, they are using Travis. I don't want to go on these other approaches. Because building a CI/CD pipeline for Spring Boot application, applying CI/CD to Java application. Okay, maybe I need to put it like this. How to build a CI/CD job using a Spring Boot. Let's search using like this. Define a CI/CD workflow using GitHub Actions. Define the job. Check out the code. Set up the JDK. Okay, build with Maven. Okay, then push the code. Where are we using the Spring Boot? Okay, this is not the thing I'm looking. We can also build a CI/CD job using a Java code, Spring Boot. That is what I am actually looking for, but I am not able to find that. Maybe we can discuss that later. But remember one thing, always the CI/CD jobs, they can be built using any programming language, right? Most of the time, recent days, so some people, they are inventing JavaScript related. They are using JavaScript to build a CI/CD jobs, workflows. So maintaining different job workflows is a difficult part. That is why we need the programming language to automate complex CI/CD jobs. Existing tools may not support building a complex job application. We need a Java programming or any other programming, right, to build the jobs. So I hope you understood what is CI/CD. Maybe in the next video I will come up with how we can build simple CI/CD job using the Spring Boot, right? Thank you all.